Hi Aries, welcome to your week ahead, sorry about that. Welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this week, for your key to the week, check it out. You've got the Sun card, right? This is beautiful. So the Sun card infuses everything that it touches with light. It is ultimately, in the old world, the sun was God, right? It was the energy that pervaded all things. It was the thing that saved us and protected us from the darkness. It was the thing that brought warmth, light, and heat to the earth. When you get this as your key to the week, it kind of says that you can't really put a foot wrong. You'd have to go really far and sort of wide to really fuck it up. So this is a really blessed week for you. The Sun card also brings blessings to you. It can highlight travel, it can highlight children, sometimes it can bring an energy of ease into your life. Whenever you see the Sun card, it is never ever a hardship, and even if it falls with difficult cards, instead of those cards influencing the Sun card dispels the energy of whatever harsh or challenging sort of card that comes up with it. So this is why everyone loves to see the Sun card, because they know that blessings are on their way and protection is ultimately offered and there. So for your actions and your path ahead this week, you've got the Moon card. Check this out, just off the back of a new moon as well. On the 23rd of February, we had a new moon in Pisces. So that's in your 12th house, especially if you're, well, certainly if you're an ascendant Aries, it will have been in your 12th house, which is, you know, an interesting place for a new moon anyway. But the fact that you've got the Moon card for your actions and your path ahead this week, Aries, you are being invited to dispel the confusion. You are being invited to take off the rose-tinted glasses, and you're getting really proactive about getting used to, you're getting really proactive about doing the work around whatever your fears are, around whatever you feel is holding you back, or whatever your subconscious blocks are in some way, shape or form. This sees you really paying attention to what is. It sees you really paying attention to how you feel about things. My advice to you, especially here on, you know, right out of the gate on, let's say, Sunday and Monday, really pay attention to your dreams, because you might be getting flashes of things that become relevant for you at some point later on. But as an actions and a path card, this is really asking you to delve deep, right? To take off the rose-tinted glasses and look at things exactly as they are. And really, as a movement forward, this is about you saying to yourself, right, what are the fears that are holding me back at the moment? What are the fears that are creating blockages within me? You know, I've always said this, Aries has a very strong mind. It's one of the things that you're known for. But when I say a strong mind, I don't just mean strong-willed. I mean like you have a very strong mind. And when you have a very strong mind, sometimes you can convince yourself that the sky is falling when it isn't. And sometimes you can convince yourself that everything's rosy when it isn't. You have the Sun card here, right? It's offering you that the divine protection that you need in order to go into your deep-seated stuff and find out what is actually lurking in there or down there. And when you take a look at it and it all comes bubbling up to the surface, you might realize this week that actually there wasn't that much down there that was too scary anyway. It's always good to do a systems overhaul or a systems check on an internal level. So your communications and conversations this week, you have the Two of Wands. I love this card, and I even love it even more because it's infused with this sun sort of energy. Off the back of your actions in your path, because you've got the Two of Wands, this could see you really going after something. It's like this week you're saying to yourself, you know what? Yes, there's a Mercury retrograde, and yes, there's just been a new moon, and yes, everything kind of might feel like it's up in the air, but you know what? If I don't try, if I don't go after it, I will have that regret. And it's like this week you're saying to yourself and to the world as well, I'd rather have something under my belt and say, you know what, I did that and it didn't work out, than have a regret at a later date in my life. Your Two of Wands is about affluent people, circles and situations. It's also a deep card of action and future orientated goals. This sees you really breaking out of a box or stepping onto a new path or in a new direction, because it's here in your communications and conversations you're ready to start sharing with the world what some of your new messages are, what it is that you stand for now, maybe what it is that, maybe for some of you, you're willing to start talking about your fears. And this is the thing as well, Aries, fear, you guys are quite brave, so there's not necessarily a buzzword for Aries. So when this comes up, it can make you guys feel quite vulnerable, because you tend to meet everything head on and you're very rarely afraid. And if you are afraid, you'll just, you'll blast through the fear anyway. This could be a week where you're willing to make yourself vulnerable like that, to say to people, actually, you know what, let me shed some light on how I've actually been feeling, and share that with people. If anything, it's going to serve to humanize you this week, and it means that when you are rubbing shoulders with people, they're not just going to see, right, okay, yeah, so this person's determined to succeed. They're also going to see that you're a human being as well. And in seeing that and seeing that side of you, there might be that kind of, sometimes people hold back on investing or, their time, their resources, or even just their effort because they think, well, this person's got it all wrapped up. They're obviously going in their own way and not open to any sort of input, so I'll just leave it, right? This week you could be kind of, just by opening up the dialogue, you could be, saying to people, look, you know what, yes, I've got all of this energy, passion and drive and determination, but I'm still human, and it would be great to collaborate, right? Twos are all about partnerships, so consider that this week. For your money and materials, you have the 7 of Cups right underneath the Moon card. Now, as a combination, these two is not a good mix, I have to say. So I will say this to you this week: if somebody comes seeking to borrow money from you, I don't feel like you'll be getting the full picture. So just really consider that. For your own money and materials, it does suggest that there's something about your money that you need to start thinking about streamlining, or thinking about how you're really using your resources. Are you getting the most out of them? Is there somewhere that you're being wasteful? Now, because it is infused with this energy, this sun sort of moon energy, and with the 2 of Wands there, it does suggest that this week, if you're willing to look at it, you could really rewrite your budget in some way, and that could really have a very positive long-term effect. It kind of says to me as well, whatever you've been experiencing over the last however long with your finances, they will definitely start to improve around 7 to 8 weeks from now. So by the time we get to, we're heading towards birthday season for some of you. So by the time we get to sort of the end of birthday season, going into the end of April, this will be when you'll have a much clearer sort of picture. I think this week with the 7 of Cups here, it's really just highlighting to you that you might need to start taking control of the money at the moment and thinking more wisely about it. Nothing wrong with that at all. For your love and relations, you have the Death card, right? So for those of you that are single, it's not a week for love, I'm sorry to say. I mean, there could definitely be a lot of passion. There could definitely be a lot of you sort of meeting someone, boozing, schmoozing, doing all of that sort of stuff. But there's nothing here that's concrete. It's more lust, desire and passion, which, there's never anything wrong with those things. But there's nothing here that's concrete or long term. And I would say that to you. For those of you that are partnered, you could really be considering this week. Also, one thing worth mentioning as well, because we've got the Moon card, the 7 of Cups. Yeah. Okay, so for those of you that are single, for those of you that are partnered, if you're thinking about taking a trip down memory lane to an ex, with an ex, for an ex, the Death card is an absolute no. Will you get the answer that you want? No. Will they be interested in rekindling a relationship? No. Will they, just no. It's a no, right? If you ever ask a yes/no question and you pull the Death card out of your tarot deck, it's an absolute no. You don't need to pull any other cards. As with the Sun, it's an absolute yes. All right, there are certain cards, very few of them, that give you absolute definite answers. For those of you that are partnered, this could be a crux point for your relationship. This could be not necessarily it could be a challenging week in terms of the communication that is there, but your paths look like they might be diverging. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means that you're going to have to be very proactive about forging that connection, or maintaining or upholding that connection. This is, I mean, even with these cards, you know, these ones present a little bit of a challenge. The Two of Wands is gorgeous, but the Sun card is lessening all of this. So I don't see anything necessarily ending this week, but I do see that you might very well you might have to get creative. You might have to start sort of, you know, doing the Aries thing and steering the ship in some way, shape or form. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.